Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. It's Thursday night, August the 4th. Bloodbath on Wall Street today as the indices rolled over and rolled over hard, and especially in the last hour when they just caved after failing to take out resistance. Closing at 1200 on the S&P down 60, about a almost 5% drop, and the NASDAQ 100 dropped 105 and change and dropped over 5%. So it was a nasty, nasty day. But, on days like this with the McClellan Oscillator minus 318, and with panic on the street and negative tick of nearly 1600 at one point. We got to start to look for pockets of strength. I can go over the box of shorts list and show you some pretty ugly stuff, but at this point, most of them are closer to support or being oversold than attractive buys here. So what I would look for, although we may come down tomorrow a little bit further, maybe even into Monday, over the next day or two, I'm anticipating a turnaround snapback rally that could be an opportunity to get short. We'll discuss them over the weekend. In the meantime, for tonight, I want you to see some pockets of strength. ATSG, Air Transport Services Groups, started today up 80 cents or 16.5%. And on a day like this, you have to shake your head and say, wow. 2.1 million shares, that's the second heaviest volume this year, and the heaviest volume on an up day. You can see how it snapped back to resistance near the 50 and lateral price support. So it's going to have to do some work to get back up through the $6 level. But if it does, look for a quick move to 7 and an intermediate target at 8.5. We're going to go over the ultra shorts today, which had spectacular sessions, but I want to show you their price picture. The BGZ, a spectacular surge from 32 to nearly to 45, 13 points in the last couple of weeks, straight up nearly. And yesterday, in the last couple of days, we showed you the spike. Now it ran up through and back down below on a reversal day yesterday, but today gapped right up at the opening and just exploded to close just pennies off the high for the entire move. You can see the long-term pattern was a big downtrend, followed by a basing action in the last several months. We've now spiked up and through the June high and through the March high. Logic would dictate that at some point soon this stock is a tad overbought, to say the least, and we will see the stock settle back into a consolidation. But we may get up to the high 40s or even 50 before that occurs, depending on how bad tomorrow is. But keep your eyes on the BGZ. That's the large cap triple bear ultra short. The EDZ, the emerging markets triple bear, also a positive configuration, but not quite as bullish. And when you see the pattern here that's developed, you see a big move down from the mid-60s to the mid-teens. And over the course of the last several months here, from April, May, June, July, the stock has basically held the 15 3/4, 16 zone and actually had a slightly rising bottoms line here. But the double top April and May was convincingly broken through today, and we have a triple top from February and March up around the 24.25 range, which wouldn't shock me if that was tested tomorrow, even as high as 26. But sometime soon we're going to see some kind of pullback retest, and at that point we'll reevaluate. FAZ also acting fantastic today, was up almost 15%, 754, 28.5 million shares. That's the heaviest volume this year. And as far as I can see, it's the heaviest volume that's traded in a year and a half. Key overhead resistance in the mid-60s may be tested before it's over, but right now we're getting into overbought short-term territory. We'd love to see if it opens strong tomorrow and backs off, and over the next couple of days we get a little bit of a rally, this thing to form some sort of consolidation for entry. One common stock that did have a good day was FireSource that jumped to $1.72. Now at one point it was up almost 3, and you can see the high today was right at the declining moving averages here, which it ran up to and then backed off of. Nevertheless, the highest level with a big breakaway gap on 1.8 million shares. Something to keep an eye on for any potential follow through going forward. Copper stock LIWA, LIHUA, symbols LIWA, moved up 54 cents or 8.5%. On a day like that, that needs to be paid attention to as well. But you'll see that it did back off the 21 and 50-day moving averages right in this zone. Now, if it can't break through, our target would be close to 885, 890 zone, something of that nature. But, the configuration as I have it here, it does look like it may get a retest at some point. But it's just something to keep an eye on. As you can see, double bottomed here around the 5 and 1920 zone. And is in a rally mode despite the market today. MI, Motorola Mobility Holdings, popped to 23.73, backed off 65 cents, still up 81 cents, up 3.5% on 11 million shares, the biggest volume in a couple of weeks. Popping above the 50-day and closing right there. This needs to be followed for price progress towards the 25 and then 27.5 ranges. My targets for motor mobility, particularly with the technicals and volume surging here. Any snapback rally, these stocks could do well. Another strong one today was Merge, only up 19 cents or 3.5%. At one point up as much as 40 cents. But the volume today at 2.87 million was the heaviest in a couple of months, and it broke above the lateral price resistance. And what I'm looking for is a test of 615.20 zone right here. And if it does get through that with volume, the next target's 7.5. NSIT had a nice day today, exploded on a breakaway gap, ran from 16.5 to nearly 19.5, tested key lateral price resistance in this zone from the February, July highs, and backed away quite a bit actually, still up $1.57 or 9.5%, and closed above the 21 and 15 moving averages with strong volume and a good surge in technicals. What I would look for is if it does firm up the next day or two and takes out 19.5 for the stock to get into the low 20s. Ultra short on the oil side is SCO, ProShares Ultra Short. This stock has spiked up today for 622 on the drop in oil. It's up 12% on 2.1 million. Although the volume wasn't fantastic, the on-balance volume really surged to new highest level since March. And at this point, although it isn't near lateral price resistance at the top of the channel, it's worth keeping an eye on. Any pullback that tests the 54.5, 55 zone may be an opportunity to get into with a target around 65. And lastly today is the ultra short silver, which had a spectacular reversal day, reaching a new all-time low at 11.92 and closing at 14.08, up $1.78, nearly 14.5%. 29 million ZSLs traded today. As far as I can see, that's the heaviest volume since May when it ran up here. And it wouldn't shock me if we got another one of those run up that takes this one to test lateral price resistance and the declining tops line in the 17.5 zone for starters, and then 19.5 for my secondary target. But we need to get some follow through here, as this declining tops line mini one was taken out, but it's still below the moving averages. So pay attention to that. And that's it for this evening. Be careful tomorrow. The techtrader.com will be open first thing in the morning for a couple hours, but then HP's on vacation. And we'll try to get you set up for tomorrow's trading day. It's going to be a wild one. Take it easy, everybody.